Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Just a couple of books to talk about today that have recently arrived. First of all, this, I want to give a shout out to Paul J Burgess and Penny and the Pigeon Queen. This is a friend of ours, Paul from the Vegan Queens, who's got a YouTube channel doing food, and we know them as a drag combo that come and do Levy Pride every year and tour all over the place, and they're fantastic. Paul has also started off as an author of this kids book. And the funny thing was, when he was first talking about this online, he linked to a story about pigeons and how badly they're treated by humans. And I read the piece and I forgot who'd linked to it. And then much later when he talked about this, I said, oh, I read this piece. And it came around full circle. But this really wounding piece about how pigeons were domestic animals at one time because, you know, we used to breed them and use them to send messages. And I guess people use them for food as well. And they're still here in our cities and towns, which is why they're on the pavement, why they're around our buildings, because they're essentially domesticated and we've stopped making use of them. And they're still coming to us saying, can't we be of use? Why aren't you looking after us? Why do you ignore us? Terrible. It really upset me. And people do treat pigeons badly. And this is about two kids who, one especially, is on the point of treating, well, he does actually treat a pigeon quite badly and is taught a lesson by a magical pigeon who's beautifully described, actually, the feathers. And I don't know if this is true or if it's just one of the magical properties of Penny, the Pigeon Queen, that they change their foliage, I was going to say, that's not right. The colours of their feathers. Because just watching out the window here on the cherry tree, I see them all the time. And I wonder if it's, I must look this up, to do with the time of year, or if it's not true. I wonder if they stay the same colours. And Penny the Pigeon Queen is just a special pigeon who changes colours. Anyway, it's a lovely book. It's available from Nightingale Books. Nightingale Books in Cambridge, England. So do go and look for that. The other book that arrived is our annual anthology, the Fambles anthology for 2024. Fambles is our gay men's writing group, our local group that's been going now for 6 years. And every year we've put out, using Amazon self-publishing thing, an anthology. And each year they seem to get bigger and bigger. The cover's by me this year, one of my abstracts, which is lovely to see. It's very tactile. So it's pieces of work, new pieces of work from the last year by my fellow Famblers, Mike Heath, Ben Richards, Ryan John Cavell, David Richards, Jeremy Hode, and me. And this one's called Did I Ever Tell You? Because lots of the pieces are, there we all are kind of memoir pieces. The book is filled with drawings by various people, and doodles from when we have our meetings, and photos of everybody from the last year or so, which is always amazing. Each year is a kind of treasure trove, I think, of what we've been up to, and the various adventures and get-togethers and scribblings that we do. Everybody in here has got something substantial. Mike, who's usually a playwright, has written a novel this year, and there's a big chunk of that. There's pieces of plays and monologues by Ben, who's new to the group, and stories by David and Rylan, Jeremy with a wodge of poems, and then a kind of miscellany of things from me. And lots of drawings from me as well. I seem to end up drawing everybody in the group as I sit there, and various cats and dogs that I've seen through the year. And there's some sketches of people, I don't know if you can see that well, people sat there workshopping, because we meet on a Sunday once a month and discuss our works in progress. And talk for hours and hours and hours about them. It's a good thing. One of the things I've got in this particular volume are bits of my journal from 2023, featuring scenes and stuff that's going on in 2023, but also there's a flashback to Cambridge 1987. I thought I'd read this to give you a flavour of what my journals are like. And what I do when I write my journal is put myself in a position where I'm kind of reflective and thinking about what's been going on lately and capturing sounds and images that are kind of in my head. But I let myself drift back as well. This is an important thing for me about journal writing, the ability to time travel. And you can lull yourself into that position and suddenly you're back. So this was me writing last spring, I think. Would have been the spring before last. And then flashing back to spring 1987 in Cambridge. It was the first time I tasted pizza. It was after the nervousness, embarrassment, sheer mortification of the open day for sixth formers at Emmanuel College. Mam and Charlie were walking back up the busy street towards us, and they had hot slices of pizza in their hands, bright orange melting wedges of crust with black olives sliding off, eating it in their hands as they wandered through the crowds, quite unusually casual for them, enjoying themselves and then sharing their pizza with us when we met up with them. It felt like a consolation prize at the end of an awful day. I think Mam was in her rabbit fur coat and Charlie was in double denim. We'd driven all the way down south, such a huge distance. That afternoon I had sat in a tutorial with other literature wannabes. We were crammed into a rather beautiful book-lined room. We were all breathless with nerves and desire. The old guy whose room it was, the professor, I suppose, asked us, "What's your favourite period in English letters?" And the others all had answers ready. Foolishly, when it came to my turn, all I could think to say was, "All of it, really. I just like reading." I wondered how my friend Natalie was doing in her own tutorial. Was there some snooty old guy asking her group, "What's your favourite bit of science?" Then we had to queue for a visit to the library. The professor had already disparaged the whole idea of a visit day. I mean, what is there to look at when you're doing literature? Here's a room full of books. Here's another room full of old books. Oh yes, please, we all thought. We'd love to see that. That would be worth travelling for. So I joined the queue in the quad to see the library. Unfortunately, I got into the queue for the wrong tour. I walked at the end of the crocodile, out of the college and through quaint city streets. Got to a glass-fronted building, ultra-modern. Inside, we were all asked to don radiation suits and goggles. Clearly, I'd gone wrong somewhere, I thought. I slipped back out of the building and found a bookshop instead. Soon I went to the rendezvous point we'd arranged, and the sight of Mam hurrying up with slices of orange pizza was very welcome indeed. I think it is magic to be able to drop into memories that have kind of, they're there, but they're not active. And as soon as you start to write, you begin time again. and you go ticking through the hours. And I just remember mostly the crushing embarrassment of that whole particular snooty open day. Honestly, they wonder why working class kids don't go to the posh universities, and I could tell you that actually the bloody awful open days were one of the reasons. I don't know what they're like now. When I was in charge of open days at UEA, we tried to be a lot more welcoming than that. I think we learn a lot from having done these things. Anyway, I'm going to read some more stuff to you, hopefully, over the next while when I do these. I'm going to dig out my own book of Christmas stories and read you a bit of some of my Christmassy stuff and maybe some other people's. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you again quite soon. Do order this. Well, Penny, the Pigeon Queen, order that, but also our Fambles collection. Did I ever tell you? Get the title right. Okay, goodbye.